Imagine for a second being able to get from New York to London in less than an hour. Sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? Well, it's not anymore. We are standing right on the edge of the hypersonic era, a brand new age of speed that is about to change, well, pretty much everything.
So, what are we really talking about when we say a new age of speed? A new barrier has been absolutely shattered. See, we're not just breaking the sound barrier anymore. That's old news. We are talking about Mach 7, a mind-bending 7 times the speed of sound. Just to give you some perspective, your average commercial jet cruises at maybe Mach zero point 0.8. We're talking about something nearly 9 times faster than that. At that kind of velocity, an object moves so incredibly fast, it just completely redefines our whole concept of what's possible.
But what does hypersonic actually mean? Well, basically, any object flying faster than Mach 5 gets that label. And look, this isn't just some arbitrary number. It's a physical threshold where the fundamental rules of flight just get turned on their head. At these speeds, the air itself literally can't get out of the way fast enough. It compresses and it heats up so intensely that it can turn into this violent, superheated plasma. It's a whole new, incredibly hostile world for physics. And let's be clear, this isn't just a tiny step forward. It's not just a small improvement. No, this is a massive leap in how we understand and use high-speed physics. It's a total paradigm shift in what we thought was even achievable in atmospheric flight. So what's kicking off all this buzz right now? It's the recent reveal of a groundbreaking hypersonic cannon out of China. And we're not talking about a computer simulation or some lab experiment. This is a real working system that has apparently launched projectiles at these unbelievable speeds. And you better believe that got the world's attention. Now, while the idea of a hypersonic cannon is just wow, the reality of actually building one is an almost unbelievable engineering nightmare. Why? Because at these velocities, the very thing you're trying to master, that incredible speed, becomes your biggest and most dangerous enemy. Let's dig into that. There's a line from one of the source articles that just perfectly captures this whole problem. It says, at velocities above Mach 5, speed alone becomes the enemy. And that is not just some cool-sounding phrase. It is the fundamental truth of hypersonic flight. The faster you push, the harder the universe pushes back, with forces that can literally tear a vehicle to pieces. So what are these enemies of speed we're talking about? Okay, first up, you've got intense, unbelievable heat. At Mach 7, the friction with air molecules is so insane that the object is basically flying through a blowtorch. We're talking temperatures that can melt steel in an instant. This heat even creates a plasma sheath around the vehicle that can completely block communications. Then there's the extraordinary instability. At these speeds, even the tiniest course correction can send the whole thing tumbling out of control. And finally, you've just got brutal physical conditions that are pushing the materials of the vehicle to their absolute breaking point, threatening to rip it apart from the sheer stress of it all. And that is precisely why this is such a monumental achievement. A successful Mach 7 launch isn't just about having a bigger engine. It's proof of a whole new level of engineering genius. It shows a complete command of advanced, heat-resistant materials, a deep, deep understanding of thermodynamics, and, of course, the ability to pull off unbelievably precise acceleration under the most extreme conditions you can possibly imagine. Now, this kind of technical breakthrough doesn't just happen in a bubble. What it really signals is the start of a new global race in hypersonic science. It's this high-stakes competition that's happening in a field where, honestly, all the old conventional rules of engineering have basically been tossed right out the window. To really get your head around how big a shift this is, just look at the difference between a traditional projectile and these new hypersonic platforms. With the old stuff, your main problems were, gravity and air resistance. Simple enough. But in the hypersonic world, the fight is against blistering heat and catastrophic instability. The key tech isn't just about better propellants anymore. It's about exotic new materials and incredibly complex, maybe even AI-driven, control systems. It's a completely different ballgame. And really, this is the headline here. This development is that pivotal moment when hypersonic technology makes the jump from the drawing board and the wind tunnel into the real world. What was once just theory is now becoming a tangible, engineered reality. Now, of course, the first thing anyone thinks about with this tech is defense and military applications. But its potential impact goes so much further than the battlefield. History has a funny way of showing us that these kinds of defense-driven breakthroughs can reshape our everyday lives in ways we couldn't even dream of at the start. We've seen this innovation pipeline play out over and over again. It starts with a defense breakthrough, which forces us to master some new area of physics. That new knowledge then unlocks a whole wave of civilian uses. I mean, think about GPS or the internet. And that, in turn, fuels the future of innovation for all of us. There's every reason to believe hypersonics is going to follow that exact same path. So, what could that future actually look like? Well, these breakthroughs in propulsion and materials could give us revolutionary new ways to launch things into space, making a trip to orbit as routine as hopping on a plane. We could deploy entire constellations of satellites in a single go, and yeah, we could see that next generation of high-speed transportation that could truly shrink our planet. And the new materials science alone, the stuff developed just to survive that hypersonic inferno, could change everything from our phones to medical implants. So this all brings us to one last big thought. The hypersonic era isn't some distant future anymore. It's here. Theory is becoming reality right now, as we speak. So the question I want to leave you with is this. As this technology comes online, which innovation is going to change our world first? Will it be a weapon that redefines warfare? Or will it be a vehicle that redefines travel? The race is on, and the future is coming at us faster than ever.